the Enfield-Roanoke Alumnae chapter of Delta Sigma Theta. And our event is a nonpartisan event. We have invited all candidates to come and partake in this because it is an auspicious occasion when we get to honor a great educator and activist, Dr. Willa Cofield. Good afternoon. At this time, we would like to ask Reverend Alvin B. Harmon for our prayer.
Good morning. Good morning. I welcome you to First Baptist of Enfield. Good morning again. Justice Earl, thanks for a very profound conversation. And to all of you who've come to be a part of this event today, we congratulate you. And of course, Dr. Cofield. It's great to see you.
Amen.
Let us pray.
To Justice Earl, thank you so much for blessing Delta Sigma Theta with your portion of the program. Thank you so much for coming together with us to make this occasion a good occasion, a joyous occasion, because this will be history making today. Because we're going to do something that I don't know when the last time we marched in Enfield, North Carolina. Do we know when we marched last in Enfield, North Carolina? Can anybody tell me what that year was?
1963.
In 1960, okay, I was just in diapers, so I wouldn't know about that. But we know that the women of Delta Sigma Theta, once we became a sorority in 1913, one of the main things that we embarked upon was the Women's Suffrage March. And we marched in the Women's Suffrage March in Washington, D.C., these young 22 founders of Delta Sigma Theta on January and March of 1913. So we are here today to march. We're going to march some new candidates into office. Am I hearing you? We're going to march some new candidates into office. Y'all are not convincing me. I got Delta Sigma Theta sitting over here. I don't hear anything Delta Sigma Theta. We are the largest African American organization in the world. Do you understand this? I don't hear you, my sisters. We're going to march some candidates into office. Help me out here. We're going to march some candidates into office because we believe in the cause of service. And for those who have come to be with us today, who are going to make that journey happen, I would like to, at this time, if you are running for an office in the primary come Tuesday, and if you are running unopposed in November, I need you to stand to your feet. Come on, we got some folks in here running. Ophelia, stand up there. Yank that up. Come on in. If you're running for office, we need to see you. We need to see you. Come on. So we have people running for office that are here with us today. We're going to start right over here with Mr. Redding. Please tell us your name and the office you're running for.
Gary Redding, running for County Commissioner for District 2 in Halifax County.
All right.
James Mills, running for seat back on the Halifax County Board of Education.
All right. Mr. Mills.
I'm Takia Lewis Blaylock. I'm running for District Court Judge C3.
All right now. Get Judge C3 now.
My name is Ophelia Lewis, and I hail from the big city of Littleton, and I'm a candidate for the County Commissioner, District 1.
All right.
Marvin Harris, I'm a native of Halifax County, but I'm a candidate for Nash County Commissioner. This is my second term. I'm unopposed, so November, just vote for Marvin Harris, Nash County.
That's what I'm talking about. This is a part of why we're here. For Cheryl, we got some more. We missing. Oh, Lord, I couldn't miss that one.
Rodney B. Pierce, running in the Democratic primary for North Carolina House District 27. That's Halifax, Northampton, and Warren County.
There you go. And Rodney, you need to be a little bit closer to the front. You're a little bit too far to the back. I missed you there. Because Rodney is a large part of why we're able to make this happen today. Because of Rodney. Come on, Rodney. I gotta give you, they say you give people flowers. But we're going to give all kinds of flowers. Give them to men too. Tell me, make them smile. I make that one smile over there all the time. Okay, we're going to give them flowers. Okay. Because of Rodney family, First Baptist family, Halifax County family, Rodney made this possible. So that, but you were the pillar stone starting the whole shovel to start digging. Rodney made it possible. that while my aunt was still here, she could see a day like today. And when I tell you, Aunt Willa, can we tell them how old you are? Please tell them, Aunt Willa.
90. I'm 95.
95 years old. That's what I'm talking about. Still here. Now that's what I'm talking about. And for Rodney, on behalf of the family, I know my cousin's gonna say some nice stuff too. I'm gonna let him have his piece. But I'm gonna say it on behalf of the family, Delta Sigma Theta, we thank you. We thank you so much. And we wish you all the best in your election and future endeavors. Thank y'all so much. We're gonna cover in a few minutes, and I'm gonna speak just as fast as I can, because I know Carl is long-winded. I don't need anybody to tell me. I already know. But my aunt, Dr. Willa Cofield, civil rights and education activist. Dr. Cofield became a target for teaching young black people how to register to vote in Enfield, North Carolina, more than 70 years ago. Now, as she just stated, at 95 years of age, she has fought for civil rights in North Carolina, New Jersey. She has organized, she has taught, and she has inspired so many. And I'm so blessed to call you my aunt. Not just because we are related by family, but I can call you my alma mater sister, because we're connected because we attended the same university. Not because of Delta Sigma Theta, because of you, I am GI to the day I die. But because of your activism, you have led legislative changes that have changed and impacted many people. You have done so much. It was quoted and said that for someone who weighs barely 100 pounds soaking wet, you have carried the projects of so many on your shoulders. My aunt, Dr. Cofield, was 15 years of age when she entered Hampton Institute, now Hampton University in Hampton, Virginia. And there she was a busybody and involved in a lot of things. One of her favorite groups and clubs was the Phyllis Wheatley Society. Yeah, I know about that. Yes, I do. And because of that, she, along with 32 other ladies, found out that the board at Hampton Institute had approved Greek organization and Greek life on the campus of Hampton. And she forged forward to bring about the first Greek letter organization on the campus of Hampton Institute, February the 17th, 1947. Will every Delta in this room please stand? Will every Delta in this room please stand? We have a soror who has been a Delta for 77 years. 77 carrying the torch aloft for Delta Sigma Theta. And for that, we are forever grateful. We thank you for that. When she was here, many of her students knew her as Willa Johnson. She taught English at T.S. Embodian High School in Enfield. And she led her students on a voter registration drive that caused her to lose her job. She had students that spoke about her as she began to do various endeavors in life. One was Mildred Bobbitt Sexton. Reading some of the comments that Ms. Sexton said, she stated following: knowing Dr. Willa Cofield left a lasting impression. She was an excellent English teacher who planned memorable experiences. I am a member of Delta Sigma Theta, she said, because she introduced me to Delta Sigma Theta in the 11th grade as a Jabberwock contestant. Okay, I don't know what year that was, but y'all heard that word, Jabberwock contestant, okay? She took us on trips, and yes, she did make a stop at Hampton Institute, now Hampton University. But even though we were from this little small town called Enfield, she wanted to make sure that we knew there were opportunities of higher education after high school. Under her leadership, we boycotted white businesses, we walked picket lines, and we assisted in voter registration. In the beginning of 1964, in the voter registration drive, there were 1,600 registered voters and 32,000 black people in Halifax County. After 3 weeks of voter registration and a strong campaign, that had doubled in 3 weeks to 3,600. What a phenomenal. We talking about, they didn't have cell phones, y'all. They didn't have computers. They didn't have all these cars that could go everywhere. This was called what? That foot stuff. Right. That walking stuff. That stuff that gets you from point A to point B. They did 3,000 in less than 3 weeks. That was phenomenal. Another one of her students, Cynthia Samuelson, stated, one of the most hurtful form, the most painful form that took place from all of that was that she lost her job teaching. When that happened, Enfield rallied together, family. Over 100 children and men marched in the streets of Enfield. They got arrested. The jails became overflowed, and they began to sing those freedom songs as loud as they could. And I was told that the crowds grew so large in the street that they became afraid and had to call for the Raleigh State Police. They said, what are these people doing down here in Enfield? Enfield, North Carolina became a flashpoint for the civil rights movement. Did y'all hear that? Enfield became a flashpoint for the civil rights movement. Don't y'all forget that now. Yes. Oh yes, I'm Willa. You did a lot of things, and one of the greatest things that I've known for years was, you know, when Aunt Willa left North Carolina, y'all ran her out of here, but she kept coming back. But she went to the state of New Jersey, which was a fabulous state to go to. And while she was there, she's been a mover and shaker as well. But she earned her PhD at Rutgers University in New Brunswick. And in 1977, she was the only African American in the state of New Jersey to receive her PhD by herself or entire state. And we're talking 77. Okay, this is a phenomenal woman we're talking about here. In 1983, while she was still in New Jersey, she worked to co-found the Black Women's History Conference as a part of her work in the New Jersey Department of Education. In the mid-'80s, she received a grant to create curriculum that focused on the lives of African American and elementary school students. Do you understand that? Developed a curriculum to work with the African American students. You understand that? If we start working with some of these students, we got to do some more work. Not doing enough. We're doing a lot. We're spending money in the wrong place. That's another sermon for another day. But anyway, in 1989, she supported a group called SEED. You know about that? SEED. Seeking educational equality and diversity. SEED trains new leaders, facilitates seminars, works with communities, and just teaching us how to better function together as a group. These seminars brought about social justice and wellness. In 1994, with the support of the North Carolina Council of Humanities, she coordinated a photographic exhibit answering the cry for freedom, the Brick School and Junior College from 1895 into 1933. And we are here now today to view her second and most notable work to date, The 9 O'Clock Whistle, in 2014. This film has received more accolades than we could think. Right here from a love seed of Enfield, North Carolina. Today, we come to welcome you. We come to say thank you to you. We come to say your leadership supersedes. And to be 95, and she can keep talking back to me. This is nothing but an example of where we all want to be. Am I telling you? We need to find out first her diet. Now I'm working on that. I got that working over there on the side. But I got to get that down. Because I know that happens. We all want to be here. We all want to be able, when we are older, to say we were here. We were a part of. We made it happen. We didn't just show up. We got something to say about what happened between that dash, from the beginning to the end. What did we put between that dash from the beginning to the end? Y'all didn't ask me to preach, but I'm going to go ahead and go ahead. All right. So Willa, this was a statement that said, no matter what you do, your mission to fight for equality will be reflected in the DNA of your work. We thank you. Please, let's stand as we present our honoree for the day, Dr. Willa Cofield. taking pictures. You know, we take pictures. Come, you don't need anything right now. You don't need that just yet. It's just picture time right now. Oh, yeah, we just taking pictures. I try to be. I try to be. Delta Sigma Theta, hold on, right here, we don't want to give you your violence down low. K. EK. This represents the leadership part of education. Oh, wait a minute, I want to be in a picture too. I mean, you on this side, okay, I'm gonna go this side. But I need y'all to take me too now. I worked out to get this way. Come out in the center a little bit. You want us to come this way, son? Oh, okay, this way, come down this way. Come on down. Come on, sorry, President. They're my president. I can't have my president now. Y'all take all these pictures now. This is history. Want y'all see that right there? Y'all got it? History.
At this time, Dr. Willa Cofield, our soror, we're presenting to you the Leadership Award. Presented to soror Dr. Willa Cofield, the 9 o'clock whistle. You showed by example what needed to be done. You understood that little is accomplished by one person alone. You encouraged a positive spirit that helped in changing the lives of many. You are a true leader. So we present to you from the Enfield-Roanoke Alumnae chapter of Delta Sigma Theta this day, the Leadership Award.
Yes, thank you, Gary. Thank you. Okay. Very much. And at this time, we have another special person to come forth to talk to us first and give us information about this phenomenal film and the fabulous book. Cynthia, cousin Cynthia.
Willa, as I was listening to all the well-deserved accolades, and I heard the judge speak, do you remember the last time you and I were in the same room with the judge?
Very,
it was
very
in
well.
New Bern, North Carolina.
That's right. And you drove us.
I drove her all the way, not knowing if we'd make it or if the client would attack us again, but we made it. This is certainly an occasion that I never gave a lot of thought, but I am eternally grateful that you made it happen and we're still here. There are a couple of things that many of you don't know. For example, there are very few people here today that know the story of the civil rights movement in Enfield. But thanks to Willa Cofield, that story is captured on film and in a book for everyone to see for generations to come. It is a phenomenal accomplishment. It's unique. This town of Enfield, North Carolina, many of you have said, many people have not heard of it. When people ask me on the plane, are you going home today? I said, yes. During this project, Willa brought so many of us together to tell our stories, to laugh, to remember. But what we didn't know was that for so many, it was the last time that we'd see each other again. Yvonne Anderson,
Yes.
Marshall Harvey,
Yes.
Ira Saunders.
Yes.
There was Elton Pittman. Our families grew up together, and we had a good time. There are a few of us left who grew up in Enfield that you don't even know participate. They don't talk about it. We have all kinds of personalities. Some of us are a little crazy, some of us are loud, some of us are quiet. But one thing we have in common, we are not aggressive, we are not violent. But my brother Bill will tell you, we all got a short fuse when it comes to injustice, especially racial injustice. You want to get to know us better, then just ask us about it, because otherwise we don't talk about it. There is an African proverb that says, until the lion tells the story, the hunt always glorify the hunter. Willa, we are grateful to you for your relentless work, and Tanya beside you every step of the way, for your determination to put our story into print and to show it on film, and for today and for days to come, the lion will be heard. Thank you.
All right.
Brilliant person. I guess I should start by thanking you and thanking my sorors, my Delta sisters, for conceiving of this day with these events and bringing me back to Enfield. I am just overwhelmed. I just think it's such a wonderful thing that you have done. I think about Carla. I don't know where she is. I don't see her. Oh, there you are, Carla. Carla was so upset when I was called back in December to come to Enfield in 2 weeks to have the historic markers dedicated. And I said, well, you know, I'll ask my daughter and see if she can bring me, and we'll come if we can. Well, when Carla found out about it, she was really, really upset. And she said to me, I think she was almost angry with me. She said, Aunt Willa, that should be a momentous occasion. And so I think we are having a momentous occasion. So today is really something I never dreamed of, but I really am so appreciative of having this opportunity. This is the first time that Karen and I have seen the video with Enfield people. Am I right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes I get things a little mixed up. But this is the first time. Last week, Karen and I showed it near Boonton, New Jersey, up near the New York state line, in a very, very nice retirement community. And that was the first time we've seen it on a big screen. So this was an upscale community. They had 2 theaters. The one we were in seated about 300 people, and they had a huge screen, and so we were able to see it. But today is even more special. We are seeing it with some of the people who made it, and some of the people who experienced those activities that we were trying to record. So I am very thankful to all of you who have come to be with us today and to see it and to enjoy it. I think this is quite an undertaking for a small community like Enfield to sponsor something of this nature. It seems to me this is what they do in big cities. So I think the fact that you have pulled together your resources and spent a lot of energy and time and brain power and contacted people like Cynthia Samuelson, who surprised me, who came all the way from Destin, Florida. I'm just so happy to see all of you here. My cousin back there, Tim, who came from Washington, D.C. My nephew and his family from Atlanta. A lot of people have my nephew over here, who came from Cary and brought, he didn't bring her, but Ruby, my cousin. I'm just so happy to see all of you. It's just a little bit overwhelming. So I wrote down some words, and I'll try to say them at this point. This is indeed a wonderful day. This day represents the culmination of a long campaign to bring recognition to the work of the brave Black people of Enfield and Halifax County during the Civil Rights Movement. So I thank all those individuals, known and unknown, who made this day possible. We certainly thank the African American Heritage Commission that works with in the North Carolina state government. They were the ones who made the decision, I assume, to assign these sites for Enfield. I thank, as I have already done, the Roanoke Rapids, the Enfield-Roanoke Rapids, is that the proper name? Yes. Enfield-Roanoke Rapids chapter of the Delta Sigma Theta Sorority for imagining and sponsoring this historic event to recognize the unique contribution of the Black people of Enfield to the historic civil rights movement, because that's what we did. All of the accounts of the civil rights movement in North Carolina that I have had a chance to read did not mention Enfield. Two very well-known observers, one was a reporter, the other was a Duke University professor, said that the civil rights movement bypassed northeastern North Carolina. And it is. So this is the kind of motivation that I had. I wanted to see that what we did here in Enfield became a part of the historic record. The only person that even mentioned Enfield was David Soselsky, who was a professor at Duke University. And he's considered the dean of historians of Eastern North Carolina. So we got to Dr. Soselsky, and he has written the foreword to our book. So we know now that he knows about Enfield. I want to thank personally Rodney Pierce, who did not experience any of the things that we talk about in the film or in the book, but who has made it a kind of religion to talk about it and to educate other people, and who actually did the work, as far as I know, to get these sites assigned to us. So Rodney, you deserve a lot of praise. And I would like to remember and honor those brave protesters who 61 years ago stood up, risked their lives, and challenged the racism that pervaded the town. We must never forget the love that they displayed for this community. We also remember the freedom fighters who have left this life and joined the ancestors. I'm going to name those I remember, and if you can think of others, or know of others, if you would please just give their names. First of all, and I'm going to ask for a moment of silence in their memory after I read them. Reed Johnson, Lily Cousin Smith, Tyler Vaughn, Mrs. Alice Evans, Adele Boone, Marshall Harvey, Yvonne Anderson Hughes, Aradell Saunders, Derek Green, Joyce Wade. Joyce Wade was captured by the photographer at the March on Washington. And if you look at the cut that we have used so much of the group of people singing and clapping along with the whistle, Joyce is very clearly portrayed on that photo. So I'm going to ask you if you would just for the next few moments close your eyes in honor and respect and memory of those souls who have left us. Thank you. Have a next one. I will never forget the courageous individuals who supported my suit against the Halifax County Board of Education. And I'm going to name those that signed affidavits, because that was a very risky thing to do in those days. I had lost my job, but there was a prospect that people who stood with me or supported me could lose their jobs, or their job. And I know personally that some of the people did receive some kind of retaliation. So I'd like to personally thank, and most of these are gone, Francie and June, we called her Mary Francis, I think. Mary Francis and June Marilyn Scott. Does anybody remember them? Yes. Mrs. Anna Mitchell, does anybody remember her? Yes. She was a teacher in Borden. She was very, very brave, very courageous, because she had a job, as I did, at the same school. But she was willing and did sign an affidavit. Margie Ford, who was one of my former students, they lived out on Highway 301, going toward Halifax. And her sister, Ethel Spade. Yes. Yes, you remember? Yes. Mrs. Erie Barton, she was a teacher. She was leaving. She had a nursery for a while. Right over here behind the house we lived in. And of course, Lily Smith, Cynthia's mother, who was up to, she was all in it and was very, very, in many ways, I think she held the spirit for our movement. You know how Carla opened up the church when she came up to speak? The spirit and energy that she had, that was the kind of thing that I think your mother did for us. She was very brave and courageous. So thank all of you for being here today, making the effort to remember this time in history. I think that it's important to remember the past, to look at the past, but we want it to inform us and to give us new energy to work for a bright and better future. So thank you again.
Everybody. Good afternoon. Like Dr. Cofield said, I'm sort of overwhelmed myself. I've been living in Halifax County all my life, raised by my grandmother outside of the city limits of Roanoke Rapids, and ended up becoming a teacher. Didn't set out to do that when I was growing up, but was raised by educators there in the back, and ended up becoming a teacher. And one of the things that always bothered me in teaching about history, particularly as it related to African American or Black history, was that everything we taught about in the classroom seemed to pertain to people who lived hundreds or thousands of miles away. And it made you feel like growing up that, there wasn't any Black history in Halifax County. I'm talking about growing up. So I'm a historian as well, so I started doing the research, and I started learning about all these different things that happened in Halifax, particularly during the Civil Rights Movement. And I came upon the oldest town in the county, where we are today, the town of Enfield. And learned about Dr. Willa, learned about the Halifax County Voters Movement, that grassroots civil rights organization. And I said, wait a minute, man, hold on. What else do I not know about the very county that I grew up in its black history and its civil rights history? So when I learned about her court case, when she got fired for civil rights activities, you know, some people say, well, her contract wasn't renewed. That's the same thing. I said, now who was Branch? You know, the case is called Johnson versus Branch. So who was Branch? So Joseph Branch was the board attorney at the time. And Joseph Branch ended up becoming the Chief Justice of the State Supreme Court, Justice Earl. And so I'm sitting there saying to myself, wait a minute, that don't seem right. That's not right. And then I found out this guy has a law school award at the Wake Forest University School of Law named after him. He also has another award named after him for the Wake County Bar Association. I'm like, do they know this guy's history? Do they know, you know, what he was doing? Now he was dropped from the lawsuit, but his name remained on it. And I'm like, no, that ain't right. That ain't right. Mm-mm. And so I started thinking about, well, how can Dr. Cofield be honored? And so I started doing these historical markers. And so I said, well, I can get her a state marker because I got a couple before. And the DOT, the Department of Transportation, who installs the state highway markers, not the Civil Rights Trail marker that I was able to apply for Dr. Cofield, they were on a 2-year budget freeze. 2 years. I said, well, we're not going to be able to do the marker right now. You know, we're on a budget freeze, but you could do a Civil Rights Trail marker. I said, okay. So contacted, you know, Dr. Willis, and look, this is what I'd like to do for you. And she's very humble, very much, oh, Rodney, that's so nice of you. You know, and I'm like, no, you know, because you can teach about it in a classroom, but you also need to take it outside of the classroom. And so when I do markers, recognizing those unsung heroes, I say unsung because a lot of people in this county have no idea what Dr. Willa Cofield went through, what her family went through, her friends, neighbors, her supporters that she was naming. People have no idea. And if we let those stories die, I believe we let a part of us die because we carry our history in us. So I wanted to make sure that she got her roses. Where's Carlette? We talked about that this morning. Those roses, while she's still with us. I also went to the Board of Education, and this is my radical mind thinking. I said, look, this was in February. I went to the board. Well, I didn't go to the board meeting. I was on Zoom. I said, hey, we're doing something for Dr. Cofield next month in the town of Enfield. Like for Dr. Cunningham to come. He couldn't be here today because he's been under the weather. I said, I would like for the board to rename Enfield Middle Steam Academy after Dr. Willa Cofield.
Well, all right, now let's
So I said, if not, rename the library in the school after her at least. Now, in Borden, where you taught, is now elementary school. It's in the same building as Enfield Middle Steam Academy. They're in the same building. So I thought it was only appropriate to name the library since students from both schools use it. So, board got back with me. They said, well, Rodney, we're not going to do that, but we will adopt a resolution in her honor. I don't have it with me today. Then I contacted the chairman of the Halifax County Commissioners, Mr. Vernon Bryant, said, hey, Dr. Cofield will be here in about a few weeks. Could we do something for her? You know, could you name it Dr. Willa Cofield Weekend or something? I don't know. He says, well, Rodney, let me get back with you. I'm going to talk to the commissioners. We'll get something together. And today, we have my former middle school principal, And one of the members of the Halifax County Commission, Commissioner Carolyn Johnson, who's going to read from the resolution that the county commissioners adopted in her honor. And then I'm going to sit down. Thank you.
It is wonderful to see, as a former educator, your students contribute so much to your county and your state. And that's Rodney, and also Gary, and probably many more out there. Reverend Harmon, and our esteemed judge. I am Carolyn Johnson, and I am County Commissioner for District 1. That's the seat that Cofield is running for. And so it will be behooving of all of us to support her, because when I leave, there will be only one female on the Board of County Commissioners, and we need more than one female. So I'm asking you to support her. When I came to Halifax County, Dr. Johnson, I came from Maryland to Halifax County, so didn't know a lot about the history of Halifax County. When I came to Halifax County school system, I heard about this icon, and this icon was Dr. Willa Johnson. And they told me so many great things about you. I wanted the opportunity to meet you because they talked about your sacrifices. They talked about how courageous you were. They talked about how brilliant you are. But you didn't tell me how pretty you were. So you're so very pretty. Then I met Carla's dad, Will Solomon. We worked together for a very long time, and he talked about you often. I met the judge, the mayor. I met the mayor and got some more history. And we have another history buff in here, like Rodney. We have James Mills, and James Mills talked about you also. So I was just delighted and impressed. When I thought about you, I thought about the verse in the book of Proverbs. And that verse says, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not to your own understanding. Acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. So it says to me that you did all of those things, and he did direct your path. When Carla got up here, I looked at this and I said, well, she said everything that's in this proclamation. Everything that's in this proclamation. So I want to say to you that the Board of County Commissioners did this proclamation for you. It in no way exemplifies your life and all that you have contributed and your legacy. But we wanted you to have this. And so I'm not going to read it all because it's already been said, but we want you to take it and read it in the comfort of your home. But we want you to know that on the, can't see without my glasses, on the 19th day of February in 2024, the Board of Halifax County Commissioners adopted this honorary proclamation honoring the legacy of Dr. Willa Johnson.
Thank you.
So let's get ready. Willa, we're gonna be following you, and then we're gonna be coming back. So everybody, we have other organizations here. I always like to give shout outs. My daughter started her own organization because she wasn't comfortable being a Girl Scout. So she figured that she would start something that would be better for African American girls. So when she was in middle school, she started a group called the Jewels. and it said, "You can't stop our shine." If you read the back of their shirts, it tells them we do what we do because black ancestral red blood runs through us. So they are going to be marching. They brought their banner to walk with you today so that we can see that we're trying to pour it into this younger generation, because if we don't start reseeding, we are going to be completely lost. We have got to start reseeding. And that's why I have my 9-year-old grandson. You can play all the Fortnite you want, but you're going to play this today first. Okay? All right. Will, we ready for you? Come on.